Right now, trip planning is time consuming and frustrating. Do you rent an Airbnb or book a hotel? Do you pay for a hotel or use your loyalty points? Do you rent a car or take a rideshare? Who knows right now? Our Chrome extension Air Compare is a one-stop shop solution for travelers to compare Airbnb and hotel prices, get car rental and ride-sharing pricing, and even filter hotel searches by loyalty points. There's no more wasting time looking at multiple sites and then still not knowing what your total cost will be.
Okay, we're gonna do a demo here of how the Chrome extension works. Now, I already have the an Airbnb listing loaded, uh, and the reason we piggyback off Airbnb's website is most millennials now use Airbnb as their default search choice. And unfortunately, though, on right now on Airbnb, travelers have no way to find out if there are hotels nearby that are cheaper and or better. They'd have to go on a hotel search site and look at hotels in the same area. Most people don't want to do this because it's a major point of friction and it's time consuming. Air Compare will automatically populate search results for hotels close by and in a comparable price range. This is the very basic use case, but our extension can do much more, which we'll now show you.
So you might be wondering who wants to use Air Compare, who would be our target customer. So let's meet John. John is a small business owner. It's very important that he finds the best deals when he's traveling to visit his clients because his expenses affect his bottom line and he has a family to take care of. And he's also time starved, so he doesn't have the time to search multiple sites to get the best deal, but getting the best deal is still very important to him. So he's going to be visiting his client in downtown Houston and he's considering this Airbnb. Now, it's return to search results for hotels because that's in the comparable price range. So John actually knows a little bit more information about his trip, so he's going to go into add trip details and enter his client's address. And then once he does that, there's actually a few more search options as well. So he does want ride sharing and car rental price information, so he can select that and then select the airport he'll be arriving in. This airport option is completely optional. The user doesn't have to enter it, but it just brings back more accurate search results in terms of pricing. So we're just going to start with that filter for now. And so you can see here at the very top, we've returned the search result for average car rental price, which is $82.52 for John. And then there's also ride sharing from Lyft. So to take a Lyft from the airport to this Airbnb costs $32. And then to take a Lyft from this Airbnb to his client's office will be about $5.75. So as you can see, it's clearly a much better choice for John from a cost perspective to take a rideshare such as Lyft rather than renting a car. So previously, John would never have that information. He'd actually have to go and look somewhere else, which is very time consuming for him. So we've taken that step out. Now, John actually remembers that he has an SPG account because he just signed up for an SPG credit card, which gave him 20,000 bonus points. So he can actually filter by Starwoods. We do want to build in more functionality with different rewards programs, but we just started with Starwoods for now. So he wants to filter by the lowest number of points for redemption. So we'll look at that. Now, the first search result is 4 points by Sheraton, and it's quite close to this Airbnb. It's 4 miles away, and it's only 4,000 points to book. The next cheapest or lowest points is almost 10 miles away, so that's a bit far. So John's really going to look at the first one. And so if we look at this first one, again, it returns search results from Lyft for the cost, and then he can analyze that way whether or not that's a good place for him to stay. And so if we look at the cost, so it's 4,000 points per night, which is much more cost effective for him to redeem his points rather than paying $418 for the Airbnb. So he is essentially getting this stay for free. Otherwise, you'd have to be paying $400. So that's one really good use case for a business traveler because they have a bunch of different points of comparison that's really important to them for their bottom line that they don't have right now, and they don't have to waste time looking at multiple places. So we're going to look at another example. Sadie and Will are kind of your typical travelers. They're visiting Universal Studios in LA. They don't care too much about where they're staying, but Sadie does really want a pool. So if we look at this Airbnb and see what's close by, We're just going to enter in their destination, which is Universal Studios. And again, they do want ride sharing and car rental prices. So we can see that a car rental here is $60.96 per day on average, and then it would be $39 to take a lift from LAX to this Airbnb, and then $560 from the Airbnb to Universal Studios. So in this case, it might actually be more cost efficient for Sadie and Will to rent a car depending on what their needs are, but previously they would never have a way to compare this. Now they know that what their choices are and what the best choice might be for them. So we're going to look at some of the hotels here. And so again, Sadie really wants a pool, so we can actually look at what kind of amenities these hotels have, which isn't really transparent right now. You'd have to go to another hotel site to look at this. But here you can see that it's really easy to compare what kind of amenities the hotel has versus what the Airbnb has. So, this hotel looks really promising to Sadie. It has a pool, it has internet, it has what she needs, and the lift price is fairly inexpensive and comparable to the Airbnb. So if we look at the Airbnb price as well, it's $92 a night, which sounds great, but then when you add in all the fees, it actually ends up being about $403, which is pretty comparable to the $109 per night for the hotel. So the belief that Airbnb is always cheaper or better isn't necessarily the case, as you'll see here. And then what we really wanted to do was just build this one-stop shop tool that enables travelers to make their decision easily without having to look at multiple sources of reference, but actually feel comfortable making their choice because they know what else is out there.